Welcome everybody. So excited to be here. Kim with Bright Adventures Group.
Bill.
And Gino.
So today we are so honored to interview our friend and business owner of Grateful Gardens here in our northern Nevada area. So we're going to get some great information, and as a reminder, Bright Adventures is interviewing many local businesses and businesses across the U.S. in our travels, and also we'll be releasing health and services information as we go along as well.
Yeah. So here we are at one of the locations, one of three. Gino, you want to tell us the addresses of the three locations?
Oh boy, sure.
Pull that sucker out.
At least the cities.
Well, our first location is at 555 South Virginia, and that's our original full service restaurant, and that's in Midtown. And then the south location is at 748 South Meadows Parkway, right across from Reno.
Yeah.
And then this one is at the Legends Mall here in Sparks, and I don't know the address by heart.
F102.
F102. And then we have our commissary and our kitchen at 5220 Longley Lane. So there's actually 4 spots.
And, okay. Yeah, I forget the commissary.
Yep.
Kitchen there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a really good burger and fry place in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's tallow fries.
Yes,
correct? So
absolutely.
Not the seed oils, but tallow. So that's exciting.
They're yummy.
Yes, we
For
got
sure.
to try them. So one of the things I always like to ask people is, how did you get into the food industry? I know you've been in the food industry a very long time.
Yes.
How did your path take you to the Grateful journey?
Wow.
Well, that might be.
I'm sure it's going to be a long story. So go ahead.
Yeah, but I can do this pretty quick. I mean,
Sure.
First of all, my entry into the food business was in the service side in high school and college. Actually, in grade school, high school, and college.
Grade school.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was illegally hired to be a server when I was 13. I remember making $10 to $12 a day going, I've hit the lottery.
Sure.
But on the professional side, I started in the industry as a food broker. So I represented food brands in the food service arena. And for that job, you really needed to be a culinary expert on menu, even flavor enhancement, flavor profiles, and how it reacts chemically in your body. And then we did the business side. So we were the people that sold to the Cisco's of the world and the U.S. Food Services and all the other neat vendors that are out there. So we were a middle person between them. And that was my entry into the food business. And then how Grateful came about is in my 27th year in that career, great career, I developed some illnesses. I had diverticulitis in my colon. I had esophageal ulcers. They were causing a lot of pain, and I was just really in bad shape. So Juli, my life partner and wife, and I did a bunch of research, and we found a Tony Robbins CD that talked about the green drink and about alkalizing your body.
Yeah.
And we checked out after 7 days in the hospital on IVs. We checked out. The docs gave me 4 different medications that I needed to be on, he said, for the rest of my life, and never took one. And we kind of followed the Tony Robbins alkalizing your body way of being to make it all go away. And I cured myself. So I remember going to Juli going, Whole Foods is successful in the market. It's now our time to open an operation. We're selling our brokerage company and to a larger agency. Unless you want to move to Florida, we got to think of something to do here.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that led you down the path of a healthy restaurants, basically.
For sure. I mean, the piece that happened that was really interesting is I ordered samples from my manufacturers at the time of all the natural foods, all the organic foods, all the foods that didn't have ingredients that were possibly compromising our bodies. And frankly, at the time, nobody would buy them because they were double the price, literally. Like, I remember specifically, conventional turkey breast was $2.25 a pound, and organic with no phosphates or other ingredients were $4.79 a pound. I can remember like yesterday. And that was really what started it. You know, was looking for those ingredients and making sure that everything we delivered was at the highest level of health, besides the psychological side, which Juli came in to play for that. Having a nurturing, beautiful environment that felt good.
Right. Yeah, and our personal story is myself and another family member have to do gluten-free, and years ago, I want to say it was 10 plus years ago, you opened the Midtown store 13 years ago,
Yep.
correct?
Yes.
So we've been blessed to be able to go to a restaurant that can accommodate gluten-free, and I also can't do tomatoes now, so I know when I come to your restaurants that you will accommodate, and it's really easy. I don't get eyes rolling from the servers. They know that people have allergies. You put little wooden stakes in the food. So we appreciate that so much, what you're doing. It's really important. I have other friends that have other allergies to things, and it's very comforting. So thanks for all that you do. You know, it's a personal story for us.
So jumping from the food supply side to the food providing side, and knowing that that's a game of pennies and nickels, how has it been?
Well, you've known me, so you've known. It's been a real lesson in managing anxiety.
Yes.
But it's been the biggest blessing of my life, for sure. And the parts about the food were the parts that we understood, and we knew where to go. I understood distribution, menu management. That was easy. What I didn't know was, how do we manage a group of service team members that we didn't ever manage before, and also appeal to, because we want for them to love being here and as much as you can in a job, and to make it a transition, a learning experience, something fruitful for them where they're getting back income, but also rewards mentally and an education that they can take on and use in the rest of their life. I think everybody should start in the restaurant business, because you get to deal with everything.
Yeah, and one of the things I was going to say is you have some really long-term employees, especially at Midtown, from the 13 years being open there. I recognize at least half the staff every time I go in, and it's hometown. It's like, hi, Kim, or I'm known as my daughter, Rachel's mom, but
Rachel's mom.
It's really,
That's South.
It's got a hometown feel, and that's cool. Really appreciated.
And the hardest part about having employees, which I have in my business, and which we've interviewed other people who have employees, it's like herding cats.
Every industry
has
like
their ups and downs when it comes to employees. Yes. They're not all going to be a perfect fit, so it's always a rotation, and it's hard to get that balance. But over the years you work through it, and you find that what do you want to call rhythm, that everybody is happy, and you got it. And I think you've gotten there.
We've definitely gotten there, and I have to give a lot of that energy to our 4 regional managers. And there's a couple in particular that spend more time in the front of the house with Shani and Anjelka, and they really took it to heart. They really understood. It's really their crew now. I work with the culinary team much more, and Juli too, more on the culinary side. But from an operations standpoint, in the front of the house, and what the customer is visualizing and experiencing, that it's those ladies and Kellen and Wilson making a big difference.
But it's all in the foundation that you built.
Of course. We wanted loving, nurturing, kindness, and absolutely. And the kids, when they embrace it and they get it, the rewards are huge for them. They used to talk about how much their tips were. Now they talk about experiences that they had with a woman or a man that had a partner pass, or a transition in their life, or kids coming in for their 8th birthday where the parents say they only want to come here to have their birthdays. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did see a wonderful video and some pictures of a customer who hit a milestone birthday. It was either 99, and she's been a loyal customer. So that's so cool to see. And then also the writing on the to-go boxes. That is really special. For people that don't know, if you get a to-go box or pick up something to go or leftovers, you'll see a little note. It could say, "Have a blessed day. Have a bright, shiny day. Love, peace." It's really special, and I don't think any other restaurant in town that I know of does that. So how did that start? Maybe organically or?
Not really. It was inspired by a company called Cafe Gratitude. And they had a couple stores in the Bay Area, but I knew them more from their farming initiative that they had in Vacaville. And they put a book out. And I read the book years ago when I was a broker, really because I wanted to sell them and I needed to learn their psychology.
Sure.
But when I read this book and shared it with Juli, and we were birthing this idea, we were like, we're going to do that. And one time we had a consultant actually come and help us with efficiencies. And they said, you're spending over $40,000 a year in box writing. And I go, how do you even come up with that? And they're like, well, this is how much time it takes to write a note, then the pens. And if you just got a stamp, it would save you probably 3/4 of that. And you could bring $30,000 to the bottom line. I said, and I would be robbing the person that's writing the message of the opportunity to give back. And it becomes white noise. It's not really something from the heart. So from what Cafe Gratitude did to what we kind of polished and molded for ourselves, it's really become something that we'll continually invest in for the rest of our history forward. Yeah.
It goes to the name, being grateful.
Amen.
Right?
Spelt a little different, but yes.
Spelt different, but same meaning.
Yeah. And
double entendre.
And speaking of that, I know you do so much work in the community, from gardens, and recently I saw, was it Reading Rainbow?
Yes.
Reading Rainbow.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about anything?
Sure. I mean,
on that? You're always doing something, and that's so cool.
Well, at the beginning, the founders of Grateful Gardens were Juli and I, and then we brought on Cindy Wallace and her partner Kim, and then Dr. Sean Devlin and Dr. Ann Barnett. And Cindy's since moved on, and we're still wonderful friends, and her mark on Grateful will always live there, and same with Kim. And Sean and Ann still remain our financial partners and confidants in certain areas, and wonderful folks. And we decide at the board meetings every year where we're going to contribute the majority. But there's also all the schools and soccer teams and all the different pieces of being in a community that we contribute to. But our big ones are the Eddie House. We're really active with the Eddie House, and we love them because they prepare people to go into life, and they don't just like hand them a subsidy. Not that that's bad, but I love preparation and education. Yeah. And we're really, this year we made a big commitment with the food bank of Northern Nevada. Yeah. And we've gone out there and volunteered, and they need volunteers. So if you're seeing this, it's really easy to go onto their board and sign up. And Juli and I were just talking, we need to get back out there again. They really, that touches our heart because they're feeding people. And there's an agency called Third Meal, and they're not as widely known, but what they do is they spend a certain amount of money in gift cards, and then we give them a similar match. And they give it to people that need a third meal, mostly families with kids, where the parents are both working. And they come in and eat, we don't know who they are because the gift card, so they can eat with dignity, they can participate and learn. And I never try to guess, and the team doesn't, who they are, and it's really wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, that part. And
Very
then
cool.
World Central Kitchen is the last big one. So we have
Wow.
4 big ones. And World Central Kitchen is all over the world, literally. And they set up kitchens in places that need it, like where there's a big earthquake or there's a war.
Right.
And you've got kids and families that need food. They actually set up in Reno. And that was Juli got networked with them when the big South Lake Tahoe fires were here.
Yeah.
Yep.
They all these kids were brought down to the Nevada Children's Museum, and they had tons of activities, but they didn't have food and they needed a kitchen. So we partnered with them and then became a bigger partner because we were like, we love you guys. You guys are awesome. So that's, and then our local purchasing, you know, we work with Lighthouse Coffee, who we all are super cool friends. We've all had dinner together.
Yes.
We've
And
done an interview
we
with.
We've done an interview with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
And
Yes.
Al's Bees and
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even back to Eddie House, and to mention the 3 wine guys, Stan Thomas, one of the wine guys, actually helped get Eddie House going and started
Got
when
the
he was.
building.
Yes,
isn't
when
that
he was-
funny how there's a
Everybody's,
connection?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's always neat.
Bunch of
that
good people were.
Everybody in the community here cares about our community and contributes back to our community, as well as anything else that you can reach out to
Yeah.
and do a good service for.
And I'll put links to all the places we're mentioning.
Great.
Yeah, Eddie House, I believe, after kids are too old for foster care, there's that gap, and they help train them for jobs. They give them clothes, a place to stay. So that one is near and dear to our hearts as well. So
You know what's one of the things they do that really blows me away, and I don't mean to take away from
No.
the question, is they get them IDs. A lot of kids that are displaced, and I think they go up to 20 something. I forget the exact age, but they don't have all their records.
Wow.
And you know, you can't go get a job or
Right.
really
Without the
enter into society
paperwork.
with nameless or without an ID
Yeah.
of some sort. And I thought that was one of the things that struck me the most, like, wow, what a basic need that I didn't even think about.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
And now they
That's-
have the apartments there. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, for our small community, it's a big
Yep.
footprint, doing a lot of work.
And Jules and I really, and our whole board of directors and our team, when something happens, we've had, you know, now that you have 165 employees and 16 years in business, people pass on. You know, we've had a lot of kids, not a lot. We've had a few kids of parents that work for us die, and even some employees. And I seen the teams do GoFundMe's and raise $10,000 right within our own organization.
Awesome.
To help, you know, bring a body back to a home state, or to, I know it's tough to talk about, but it's like, it's part of the culture, and it's not something we do with whatever extra profit we have. It's built in as part of the model,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm really proud of it. It's really cool.
Yeah, no, you should be. That's
So part of your model,
Awesome.
speaking of part of your model, you have another little part that plays is Gino the Soup Man,
yeah.
which we've seen in our local Whole Foods markets and stuff like that. But also, would you
Freezer
like
section.
to tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about some of the stuff you got going
Sure.
on here?
Well, this is actually a fresh juice. I shake it so that it looks really cool on camera. But these are fresh organic juices, and you can get them at all the stores. But they are branded Gino the Soup Man. And the story of that is, when I was healing myself, juice was one of the things that we did. But I really have to give all the credit for our juice program to Wilson Wood, because during COVID, he came to me and he's like, hey boss, I know things are tight, but if you invest, you know, 30 grand in this machine and 10 grand in these bottles, and I think it'll be a really sweet thing. And we're like, okay. Yeah, but we actually did it. He was very well prepared, had all the recipes. We did it, and it became a wellness thing. And it complements the soup. So you can get soup and juice delivered anywhere in the United States of America. You can hit gratefulgardens.com or GinoTheSoupMan.com. Either way, your national delivery, you just hit it and it takes you right to it.
Yeah.
Great.
We ship these frozen soups, and more recently these freeze-dried soups, and we're doing our own freeze-drying. And it's really cool. And we went through a lot to be able to do this with health department regulations and things like that. But it's really a large part of our business now, and it continues to expand.
Well, we know that they're such a pleasant group to work with, but we won't go down that rabbit hole.
I have to say, we could have used one of your freeze-dried soups because our RV van lost power on our last trip.
Man.
And just a minor glitch, but for one night, and then we were like, if we had one of those soups, we could have just got some hot water. And but
Fired it up.
one thing I do know is you're really popular. September, well, end of August, early September is the big Burning Man festival. So I know a ton of people stock up on these goods before the playa. So do you want to talk about how, I
Sure.
know that's like nobody can have time off, right?
I don't even know what the promotion will be, but there will be a Burning Man promotion. There's always a promotion on the soups and juice, as well as the magical mushroom powder, which are, it's not magical mushroom as in, you know,
psychedelics.
no psychedelics yet.
Dang it.
When it's legal, I bet you they'll end up in there.
Microdosing is becoming better and better.
It is becoming better and better, and that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But
this cocoa is so medicinal. If you look up online, it's amazing.
It
for
is.
so many things. So definitely do your homework. But this is a great combination: the mushroom and the cocoa. So I love
mean
it.
the cacao and the mushroom powder that we use.
I didn't say it right. Cacao.
It's all good, cocoa, cacao, but it is really special, and I drink it every day. I'm having it right now, and it helps keep me sharp. And when I don't drink it, Bill reminds me. he can tell.
So do you like to blend it with water or coconut milk or?
Well, I like it with a cream of some sort. So I'll either use heavy cream or I'll use coconut milk. I don't do almond so much anymore, but those are the two milks I like. And then I add a little bit of the MCT powder because it gives it even a more of a rich.
Yeah.
But that's only my own thing. And then I have a little. We always have a promo where you get a free whipper. And we run them about every. You did get one. We do it like every 3-4 months.
And the good thing about the MCT, if it's oil or the powder, once it rehydrates it as a powder back in, MCT is food for the brain.
Amen.
Yeah.
And so, because of our health part of our channel, I just like to mention that MCT oil in coffee, maybe some cacao, and that fires you up in the morning. It lights you off and gets you going. And is food for the brain. Even a little dab of butter in there.
For sure.
And whip that up, and you have yourself a good start of the day brain-wise. So,
Amen.
Yeah.
Speaking of recipes, I know you just came out with your own vegan burger. Did I see that?
So recently we were actually inspired by a good friend of mine, Carrie, friend of Juli and I's. But I've known Carrie since 9th grade, and we reacquainted ourselves, maybe 10 years ago. And her partner are vegans, and she gave me this recipe, and Juli and I played with it for a while, and then with the help of my production kitchen, Heriberto, and some really great equipment, the blast chiller, we were able to make our own patty, and it was so important that we make a patty that people like. That is not a replacement for meat.
Yep.
That you just may want to have a vegan patty that day. And it tastes good, and it's cashew and mushrooms and brown rice and grilled onions. Ooh. And the way that it's blended and formed, it's not, it is so good. It's not a processed food at all. It's just a whole food, beautiful vegan patty.
Clean, yeah.
Yeah.
Clean.
Love it.
Yeah.
Which is that's what you guys are about anyways. Just
totally.
Nice, simple, clean recipes that are healthy, that are sourced organically as much as you possibly can, and do all the right things so that people have a good choice.
We didn't talk about the cookie. You have to have a little dessert.
Well, that's the original cookie. That's Juli's
delicious.
apple-filled chai tea cookie.
Yum.
In the center of that is an apple compote. And if you heat it and you serve it amongst a table like this, everybody can break off a little piece.
Nice.
And then you fight for the center.
Arm wrestle.
It's a wrestling match for the center.
So any other new recipes?
Yeah.
Or I know I always new menu items.
Well, we recently launched our poke bowls as a special, but those are going on the menu.
Exciting.
And it's a beautiful sushi grade ahi tuna.
Wow.
Or you can also get it with tofu. And it's going to stay on the specials, and we're revamping the menu a little bit. We recently created a new relationship with Beloved Bread, and they're doing our vegan hamburger bun. It doesn't matter that it's vegan, except unless you're vegan.
Yeah.
But it's a great hamburger bun for both the vegan patty and a beef patty. And we're actually expanding our relationship, and they're working on a couple really cool things right now. We're making our own mayonnaise. We started that a few weeks ago, and it hasn't been in every store, but I've placed it in a couple of stores just to see how it's working. Sure. It's seed oil free, and it happens to be vegan. We're using aquafaba to thicken it.
Ooh.
And
what about your tallow fries?
Well,
I talked about them earlier.
I know you did.
I haven't tried them.
I'll finish this one thing, and then I'll tell you about the tallow fries. So the other thing that we're making, and we started already at Midtown, and it'll be in the other stores within the next 10 days, is our homemade jam. So raspberry, blackberry, strawberry, blueberry, homemade jam. We just figured we'd take it in-house. We're not buying any more jars from outside of us, and it's really special.
I bet it's delicious. Are you selling jars too?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
However, the marketing team has some, I'll send you some pictures of like a berry with my face in it. And it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I don't, I happen to, I get to be Gino the Soup Man, but Juli is the collaborator on the soups, and over half of the recipes are hers. So I just got the name because they called me that when I was a kid. So I was Gino the Soup Man when my mom and I were making soups. And that's what my aunts and uncles would call me, and then
it has a good ring to it.
It's had longevity, right?
No, and then in my other career, they called me that because I was providing frozen condensed soups that I represented to a large variety of restaurants and institutions all over the country.
Yeah.
But what you brought up with the tallow fries, so at one of our locations, which is the kitchen on Longley Lane, it's more of a quick serve restaurant. And it has really amazing Mexican food, street tacos.
Right.
We have burgers and fries, and we do smash burgers there. And it's a very unique smash burger where the grilled onions and the cheese are between 2 3-ounce grass-fed, grass-finished burgers. And then we fry in organic tallow. And, if you're back in the 70s, the American Heart Association scared us, and they must have got together with the soy people and
the seed oil people.
And the seed oil people, and they switched everybody to that frying medium. But when you analyze it, and should you have tallow fries every day? No, of course not. But if you're going to have a burger and fries, that's better choice for so many reasons. And the grass-fed, grass-finished is the other thing. Everybody can say grass-fed, but it's grass-finished what gets you home. Because if it's grass-fed, grain-finished, it might taste good, but it's not the best for you.
Right.
It's not necessarily damaging, but it's not the best for you. And if I'm going to eat meat, I want it to give me all of the things that it's supposed to give me.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're grass-fed and you finish them off with corn to fatten them up, and the corn is GMO and sprayed with glyphosate, then all those things feed right back into what you're just grass-fed out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you got to cut some of those things and do a trade-off. And getting any seed oil out of your diet is probably one of the better things that you can do in your life.
I'm so glad we're in this direction. It's really, I'm so proud of our team. Like I said, Heriberto before, he's helping us master the mayonnaise. Making your own mayonnaise is a trip.
I bet.
It's a lot.
I bet.
And we use 55-gallon buckets every 2 weeks. So it's not a little amount of mayonnaise.
That's a lot of mayo.
Doing a lot of whipping.
It's a lot.
Mayo.
Doing a lot of whipping.
Yeah, I was with him today, and he was I'm like, okay, first of all, we got to position your body different. So there's other things you have to take into consideration, safety and body positioning. And so we've got some work to do on that part. But
so you got a big rigid mixer and blender, and
it's an immersion blender that weighs about 20 pounds. So your shoulders, so you really can't be too high or too low.
Right.
Because you can't be like this and you can't be like that.
Right.
You have to be perfect. So I actually need to find somebody that will help me fabricate a steel stand for the bucket. And so if you know of anybody, I'm looking.
Probably know of a guy.
Kurt Huntoon at Protofab.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're doing.
I can bring him the bucket and the height and everything.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. The one thing I know, you and Juli and the team are modest, but I know you've won so many awards, best gluten-free restaurant, best vegan restaurant over the years, but were there any awards that were some of your favorites? I mean, you're always winning some kind of an award.
Thank you. The local ones are awesome, especially for the teams that produce the product now. Since I'm not in the kitchen cooking the whole time, they really are just, humbled and blessed for that. But the one that really stirred us the most is the National Restaurant Association gave us a Good Neighbor Award. And they flew us back to Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Which was really amazing. And we were with all Good Neighbor restaurants across the country. And they had tiers. Big, like big chains, like Cane's was one of the winners. And I was so impressed with them, what they did. And then there was medium, and we were the small, under 10 million in sales at the time. And they had a video, which is on my signature line that is easy to find on YouTube, that they did on us. And it was literally 2 weeks after I had my shoulder surgery. So the lady's like, you can't really wear that brace. And so I'm like standing there, but Juli did most of the interview, and it was a beautiful representation of who we were. But more importantly, those kinds of things inspire others, and that's why we're here.
Yeah.
So speaking about your social media market, what social media are you on, and under those kind of names?
Well, the person that I mentioned, Wilson Wood, that created our juice program a few years ago, came to me with some expertise and education around that. And it was really something I just dabbled in. And now between him and Kellen Flanagan, we have two people that concentrate on marketing, but they also they market to our team just as hard as they market to our customer, because our teams need to be in the know and trained and understand the whys behind everything. So it's a unique positioning of the two, and that's how we get our footage. And they're and we're all learning as it goes. I'm learning how to do what you're doing.
Right. Grateful Gardens on Instagram, though, and then you also have a Facebook.
Oh yeah, we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel that is mostly just for some Gino the Soup Man recipes, but we're going to expand that. We do have a TikTok, I think, but we haven't dabbled in TikTok yet.
Yeah, those are usually really short. Kind of not so great for cooking show or whatever.
I put my dog videos on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. And they get like 1 million views. I go on there, I get 10.
Yeah, but Kellen, I did talk to him at the Midtown store. He's a friend of our daughter's, and I think our son as well. But I congratulated him because I said, you're doing some fun stuff on all the social media and just fun videos, and the employees are all interacting, and you can just feel how they all interact together and like each other, and just it's a great
I want them to stay real and raw. I don't want them to be robotic or AI.
No, AI, and actually AI is kind of fading out of the YouTube. YouTube is frowning on AI production stuff now.
Faceless channels.
This is not.
That's right.
This is not.
This is faces.
This is not AI. People walking
real
by.
faces.
We're at the restaurant. We're doing it real.
Right.
And it's organic.
Yeah.
And that's what we like to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. And I would say so. It shocks me every once in a while I come across somebody that hasn't been to one of your restaurants,
and
that shocks me. That shocks me. I'm always like, come on over. in order to get someone interested, what would you, in a nutshell, what would you say sets you apart? I know what sets you apart, but from your own verbiage, what do you think? What would be something to entice people to come and check you out that has never been to your store? And by the way, my Bay Area friends are like, why don't we have a store like this in the Bay Area? So every person I took for my work at the time, they were just like, this is the best place. So,
oh man.
So
wow.
Yeah.
That's
no, it's
blessed
that
and
is
grateful.
all true.
You know, I think there's so many pieces. First of all, it's a restaurant, so flavors. Just because it's healthy, we're not skimping on flavors. We have plenty of options for you to get a flavor blast. If you want wasabi flavor, if you want ginger basil, if you want cilantro and lime, we've got all the flavors that you could possibly want that'll excite your palate. On the other side of that, you don't have to give up health to have the flavor. So when you're going to get that product, you're going to get a seed oil free product. You're going to get a product that is organic. You're going to get chicken that's organic, and meat that's grass fed, grass finished, and seafood that's only wild. And there's benefits for you. Whether you desire that or not, they're there.
Yep.
You don't have to want them to get them.
Right.
And
right.
But the flavors there, and we have a really cool beverage menu which features Lighthouse coffee and some of the nutritional drinks. Our soup is really interesting. In 25 and 26, alcohol sales have dipped quite a bit. And we sell beer and wine, so we're not a full bar. But our superfood beverages,
Kombucha, juice.
kombucha, blue algae, the green drinks,
Yeah. You have a new
the
tea,
mushroom,
iced tea.
the iced tea that we make.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, those are more sweet teas, so there's a little sugar in there. It's organic sugar, but you know, for those that are not doing sugar, you have to get
Yeah.
regular tea.
Yeah.
But all of the things that you would want to be satisfied in a restaurant are there. But the thing that stands out for me is the service that we teach, and we believe the majority of the time are delivering.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Being a longtime customer, and I also appreciate you have a great rewards program. Sometimes I'll get an email, we missed you, and I'm like, yeah, gosh, I haven't been back for a while. I need to go. We love you guys. Been on vacation, so I hadn't been in for a couple weeks.
The rewards program is basically 10%.
It's amazing.
You know, during COVID it went to 5, now it's back to 10, and that's for the people that come, you know, often. It really is a nice reward, and they get to cash it in fairly often. And
yeah, are the detail, if someone came to your restaurant for the first time, they could just ask the server, how do I join the rewards program?
Yep, you can even now you can download the app.
Oh, you have an app? I did not know
We
that.
do.
Wow.
And I know my marketing department's gonna, if you put this out today, they're going to be like, it's not ready till next week. But it is
okay.
ready. You can you can
Very
download
new.
it on Apple and Google, but there's a couple little refinements. But you can. I've already ordered on it.
Cool.
It tells you what your last order is. It tells you how many points are on it.
So you can order food to pick up?
Yep, and deliver
Wow.
everything.
Wow.
And it's the Grateful Gardens app, and you can
Okay.
get it off Apple or Google.
Well, you got such a big
Fantastic.
menu, that's going to be a huge app.
It's a really nice
Because your
app.
menu is full-bodied. I mean,
That, and I would say that a lot of people don't know where their rewards stand, and if they can have it right in the palm of their hand, it's
Yeah.
really going to be
Yeah.
nice.
yeah.
And eventually they'll even be able to, well, when you're there in person, you can pay on it, and it'll kick the server. But that's down, you know, it's just really, really cool.
Yeah.
And that's technology in play that I don't understand, but I know how to use.
Yeah,
Right.
hey, we all do. The one thing I wanted to bring up was all the different artists that have art on the walls that customers can purchase. That's a unique thing that you've been doing a long time.
And that's 100% Juli, because if it was me, I'd have pictures of wakeboarding and surfing up there.
Skiing.
But I'm so glad she does that. And what this is from the very beginning, and I would say it goes in our give back piece, is the walls are there for free for artists to hang their art, and we have a lot of long-term artists that have been with us all 13 years or 16 years, and people can buy art from them. We don't take a commission. And we've actually beautified the restaurant.
It's beautiful.
And we made it easy for them now to hang. We have the new grates on the wall. I'm looking at it. That's
and I'll insert pictures. I already snapped
and there's quite a few artists that do $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
Wow, great.
It's pretty amazing. They're in all the stores.
Yeah.
And there's different artists, and you can email Juli at gratefulgardens.com and show her your portfolio, and when a spot becomes available, then she works with you to get your product up there, and you manage it. But it's a really cool part of the arts.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that covered all the questions. I had Bill and then Gino.
I think we covered everything. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm trying to think. I know, speaking for Juli, that the one thing that we are is humbled, blessed, and grateful, and we just feel so lucky to be able to be here, and we feel very blessed to have you guys as friends. This is just like an extra little thing that we do, but when we get together, we always have amazing conversation and learn a lot. And you two specifically have helped me through a couple little things, pain-wise, and I'm so glad that you do the research, because I don't have time.
And we have that coming up. We'll be talking about the pain management part in a health
video.
An interview coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So we'll touch on that on our next one. But thanks for mentioning that.
We always have fun, and we're blessed to be talking to wonderful business owners who are our friends. So we've started with our friend circle. We'll be expanding, but in order to do these interviews, we want to bring you places that we know, trust, and have wonderful products and services. So
well done,
with
guys.
that said, Bright Adventures out.
Bright Adventures Group's out. Peace.